Greetings and welcome this evening to Felin Uchaf and to many new faces to this old house. And you're sitting in the earth house, the roundhouse, and people would have sat in earth houses like this on the Gywnedd Peninsula 2,500 years ago, 2,800 years ago, the late Bronze Age, the Iron Age. People would have gathered and and would have listened to stories, would have shared yarns in the same way as we're going to share yarns. And for this evening, I'm going to be sharing some of my stories with you, with a young storyteller who's going to share his talents with you, and with a guest with his wonderful storytelling instrument. And Philip has brought a hand drum. I'll let him tell you about it a little before half time. But Philip has come to the area several times, and many of you might have heard him play in Aberdaron times before.
No, where this is from an old tradition, and it's now become a new tradition. There are very few new musical instruments, and this is one of them. It's been birthed about 10 years ago, but it comes from an old instrument. Anybody know what the old instrument was? If I play it, you'll just hear a couple of noises which will maybe trace. There. Anybody know? Where's it come from? Carabiner, yeah. It is a dustbin lid. It's a carabiner steel drum, and there's only one person in the whole world who makes them. There's two, in fact, who live in one place in Switzerland, in Bern, in Switzerland. And he's like a poet. He's a mystic, and I went there with my wife and we bought two hand drums, in fact. And he said he was a carabiner steel drum band leader, and he sat with his carabiner steel drum, which is normally shaped like this, with up to 28 tuned dimples or tuned compact bits, and he thought there's more to this drum that has to tell its story. So he sat with the carabiner steel drum, knowing that there was more in this instrument, made out of brass, made out of steel, and he thought there's something else needs to happen for this drum to be given voice. And one of tonight's themes is journeys of transformation. So the carabiner steel drum went on a journey of transformation. And he gradually thought, well, what if I covered it over and created an empty space in sound which contains all the sound of the different notes. So there's 8 notes on this. It's in a D scale or a Dorian scale. It's an old musical scale from the Greek times, and it creates a harmonic structure, a harmonic envelope. So in that sounding are all the notes of the drum. So whereas the carabiner steel drum is meant to be played with sticks really sharply, this, he said, no, there's something soft in this drum. There's a softness needed to speak. And so he mixed brass with the steel, and it's called a hang, which in Swiss German means hand. So it's simply a hand. It's like a sonic sculpture. And so it is rather a nice dustbin lid. Somebody said you could cook a really nice tagliatelle. And so this is the hang, and if you go there, he's now stopped making them. So if you're like me, I've been playing percussion for a long time, and I went to an African drum workshop in London, and the guy who was leading it said, "Well, close your eyes and I'll just play something." And he played this, and I opened my eyes and I thought, I do need one of those. But if your response is, I do need one of those, then it's, unless you go on eBay, you'll find plenty of requests on eBay. Well, please, somebody sell a hand drum. Because they've stopped making them at the moment. They're maybe, hopefully, looking at the next design, the next generation of the hang. I've got a few CDs which will be here for sale if you're so interested. I'll just play you a touch. Come up in the break, but I'm playing with the bone of the thumb and the finger pad, but it is a flicking. It's a sort of gentle flick.
Thank you.
Well, another traditional instrument is the harp. So I'll prelude this one with a harp. They say that the world will stop spinning if you don't tell a story a day about Finn McCool. And so I've got to do that before day's end, else will have been in trouble tomorrow. And Finn McCool was the leader of the Fianna in Ireland.